Ladies, gentlemen, and others, welcome to Boz Comics, the place which will hopefully become your new number one source for nerd-tastic discussions on all things comic books. Now, I'll be honest, this isn't exactly what I had planned for my first video on this channel, but I figured I might as well talk about Shazam while it was still very fresh in my mind. And yes, I'll admit, while it's still very much topical, we all know how quickly these things can become irrelevant. But the wife and I just went to see Shazam night before last, and let me tell you what, I was blown away. I had a great time. Is the movie something I would consider to be like high art? You can probably hear I can't even say that phrase without like disdain creeping into my voice. No, I don't think so. But I'll tell you what, it's a cut above anything that I have seen from the DC cinematic universe, pretty much ever. I'm really trying to think, and I think I've hated all of those movies, which is really tragic because I have wanted to love every single one of them, and every one of them has just depressed me deeply. But here is this bright, colorful, bombastic, traditional superhero romp. It was everything I could have hoped for and more. Just seeing Zachary Levi in that costume. I remember when the first photos started circulating on the internet, like Twitter and whatnot. Somebody had grabbed a non-processed, you can probably hear my cat in the background, I apologize, a non-processed shot from the set with Zachary Levi in costume, and they were like, oh my god, he looks ridiculous. And yeah, okay, maybe he looked a little dopey, but I was like, that's definitely going to go through post-processing, and I bet he's going to look amazing when all is said and done. And in fact, he did. I thought the production values in the movie were excellent. The colors popped. It's a DC movie with color. God, what a concept this is. And I'll tell you what, like the color and just the youthful exuberance inherent in the movie, just oh god. Oh, it was such a breath of fresh air. It was so lovely. Um Honestly, it was more colorful than most of the Marvel movies. Certainly more colorful than any Marvel movie in recent memory. I mean that on both a visual and an emotional level. Seeing Billy Batson overcome his adversities, like struggle with these really deep and relatable traumas and insecurities, and just come out the other side a true hero in spite of it all. Like that's great. Oh my god, we left the theater and we were both gushing about how wholesome the movie was. That this is a great movie, I would say, to take your kids to. I would say maybe like 10 or older. Use your best judgment. Obviously, I am not yet a parent myself. My instinct tells me that there's like CGI demons and shit in this movie, and they're very I could see them being very affecting to a young child, especially if they're as much of a wuss as I was when I was that age. But I would say 10 or older, you're rock solid, and there's some really good, wholesome messages in the film that get the point across without feeling like a what's it called? Like a Saturday morning special. None of that. Or after school special, rather. That's the phrase. It really gets its point across without going into after school special territory. But at the same time, on top of all the emotion and the warmth and the love, there's also some awesome fight scenes. Every time we get to see Shazam, I want to call him Captain Marvel, but I am conceding and calling him Shazam because that's what everyone's going to be calling him now, and I gotta get with the times, I guess. Gah. But seeing Shazam discover and then experiment with his powers is so great, so great. There's a whole bit. This isn't a spoiler, really. This is like a very, very minor thing. But the first person he tells about his powers, is his new foster brother, Freddie Freeman, who is played by one of the kids from Stranger Things, by the way, to perfection. Such a great best friend character. That kid was a riot, and the kid who played Billy was great too. But in any case, so they're kind of like pals throughout the movie. And the first thing that Freddy does, of course, is he's like, "Hey, so let's make videos of this. We're gonna post this shit on YouTube." So you've got videos on YouTube of Shazam like learning to fly and punch through concrete and shoot lightning, and it's just, well, of course they're teenagers. That is the first thing they would do. Really, all the acting in this movie was top notch. I loved it. I loved it so much. Oh, the villain, Dr. Savannah, kind of a cliche villain, but I'll tell you what, like, sympathetic. And it's the right kind of sympathetic, where sympathetic enough that you can be like, dude, I get why you're doing this. You don't just seem like a crazy person. I'm with you. I can relate. But also not so sympathetic that by the end of it, you are conflicted about his inevitable defeat, right? You still very much want Billy slash Shazam to give Dr. Savannah a whooping worthy of the strength of Hercules. Like, that's not, you know, it's not even a question, which I think is good for these kind of movies. Like, really strike the balance. Like, you can have a sympathetic villain without making the hero look like a chump for kicking the crap out of them. And that's a balance that I think a lot of movies, especially these days with society's like fascination with moral relativism, I think it's a mark that a lot of them miss. So I'm happy to say that here, at least, doesn't seem to be the case. I had a great time. Yeah, just hell. I guess that's all I've got to say. This is a short first video to throw up on this channel. But Shazam is great. If you want good, fun, wholesome superhero action and a really touching family story, this is a movie that you and your family should probably go and see. So thanks for checking out this video. Thanks for listening to me talk about this movie. You know, gotta gush. My wife and I had a great time with it, and I hope you will too. So I'll see you again soon with a new video. Bye-bye.